This edition of Farmers Weekly centers on Mr. Bempong Adom, an unselfish businessman based at Kwapin in the eastern region of Ghana. Now the story follows. A Ghanaian businessman, Mr. Bempong Adom, has not only established a business for profit gain, but broadened the definition of his operations for an apprenticeship. The vision that brought him this far birthed the enterprise called Farming Academy, located at Kwapin, eastern region of Ghana. Let us walk through the steps taken by this master tactician. Mr. Bempong Adom does not operate in a vacuum, as his compass is directed by authentic information. He spends most of his time reading literature, which he considers storehouse of knowledge. He supports this with extensive research. He stuck to the green economy, where he reckoned several opportunities. A native of Kwapin in the Tiwa range of the eastern region of Ghana, he acquired forested land from the older generation of his family and began to flesh out his dreams.
About 6 years ago, I went to Vietnam to look for business prospects. Then I saw I was going to grow fruit juice called salsa. I imported to Ghana. After trial, it was doing very, very well. And I said to myself, why don't we set up a factory in Ghana? Then I considered raw materials. So I came to Kwapin, this is where I come from, and I was able to acquire this land. I felt I needed to get a land that wouldn't give me problems. So I think I went to my grandparents and I bought this land from my grandparents, meaning it was from a genuine source. Then we started the sales of about 7 acres or sales of. Then along the night we realized we wouldn't get enough fruits to do the fruit juice. So we said to ourselves, if that's the case, we're going to get outgrowers. Then we look at what is going to encourage the outgrowers. Along the line, we say let's add poultry to so that the place will be busy. Because if it's a farmland, we may visit here once in a while. But if there's a poultry, there will be people here almost every time. Then when we started the poultry, it was the normal imported birds, layers, broilers. We realized the difficulties. Feeding, their well-being, even sometimes water. If the water is dirty, it becomes a problem. The medication was a lot of problem. So when feed started being expensive, we said to ourselves, we can't continue with these normal layers and broilers. We have to look for alternatives. During my search, I came across broilers. And when I traced broilers, it was from India. And India too had apparently exported broilers to Uganda Animal Production Department. And they were doing so well. So I had a contact with Uganda. I spoke to a gentleman who was also breeding broilers in Uganda. I said to him, look, how are they doing in Uganda? He gave me all the things I've read, all the important things I wanted to know. He gave them to me. Then I went online, did a lot of research again, spoke to Indians because it came from cake farms. Cake farms went to Arizona University and crossed special breed and got the broiler. So I said to myself, if I can establish contact with cake farms in India, I'll get more information. That was my objective, even though I had enough information from Uganda.
His initial challenge was the clearance of huge trees on the site, which took a rather long period of 8 months.
When we came here, it was a complete forest with trees, and there was no way we could even come to the forest because it was a thick forest. It took us about 8 months to clear the place and as well as uproot a lot of trees before construction started.
Then he decided to build operational structures to pave way for performance. What now exists is the land housing for no less than 4,000 poultry beds and structures for agricultural material processing.
I imported 4,000 first, then I imported another 4,000 to to try and see how good the quails were. That was how I came with the quails. So we now had South Farm, and then we have quails also.
He has formulated poultry feeds from aloe vera, moringa, banana, bitter leaves, pawpaw, watermelon, and cassava. Using a breed that is not excessively reliant on soya, maize, and fish meals, a triad that is highly taxed, expensive, and scarce. This businessman went all the way to Uganda in the eastern part of Africa to learn the experience of a poultry farmer who rears an exotic chicken called Kuroiler. The breed is a genetic cross between the broiler and the native fowls of India or the specific US state of Arizona. His other businesses relate to a soursop plantation and processing parts of the plant to flavor tea and to produce an aloe vera based drink, again with his own farm as the source of raw materials. Both are being piloted to be commercialized, and his story reveals the capabilities of Ghanaian institutions in helping toward actualizations. It is the center for plant medicine at Achimtafo, also in the eastern region, which tested the materials and packaged them in tea bags. Both the tea bag and the liquid in the bottled drink have their containers and labels designed overseas. The soursop, for instance, was a direct tap into the Vietnamese model, where information led him to visit for an understudy. In fact, Vietnam itself imported most soursop trees growing there, which are suitable for hot, humid, tropical areas similar to Ghana's. For this reason, they are popularly cultivated in southern Vietnamese provinces. The exact origin of soursop plant is unknown, but it is the native to the tropical regions of the Americas and the Caribbean, where it is widely propagated.
So we now had South Farm, and then we have quails also. The next thing we want to do is to give farmers who are willing to partner with us. If government can come in, beautiful. If government will not come in, we will find a way and then we will do it. We will partner with farmers. We will give you seedlings of how you're going to do it. You do the cultivation, we'll give you some quails. Because quails eat anything you give to them, it won't be difficult for the rural farmers who are very poor to feed them and take care of them. They don't need any special care and medication. So if we give them quails and give them all going to be the seedlings, they will be able to make money from the quails by selling eggs. When they grow, the kids can eat chicken, they can eat egg, because nutrition too is very, very, very important. So if we give these farmers opportunity to have quails and seedlings, plus their tomatoes and okra and whatever they have, we will now buy the leaves after 2 years. They will weigh it just like they do with cocoa, then we'll buy the leaves from them. Then we can do tea and then also do the fruits. We'll use the leaves for tea because it has a lot of medicinal values. We've had some samples taken to Ghana Standard Board. They've done their testing. We've taken some to FDA. They've given us certification. So anytime from now, we can sell the tea once the factory is in operation.
Around the compound of the Farming Academy are about 100 coconut trees that are there by design and tied to future plans. Within the compound are an office, a warehouse, one-bedroom flat apartment for residential workers, a dry room for soursop leaves, a storage room, a dredged poultry refrigeration room, and a yet-to-be-completed hatchery. Committed to philanthropic giving, Mr. Bempong Adom is stretching further to employ a slice of the teeming youth of Ghana who are idling. believes they will stay positive in society if they are engaged to work and earn a living. Shortly before they wean themselves off apprenticeship, they will have gained some insight into business and the burning desire to become green economy entrepreneurs. The crisis hit poultry subsector of the agricultural mixed bag in Ghana is largely due to the shortage and the high cost of poultry feed. The traditional sources of feed are overstretched, and this continues to threaten poultry in Ghana. This wraps up the other factors affecting poultry production in Ghana. The void created out of low productivity has been filled with imports, and the local poultry breeder is much poorer. Faced with ugly noises within the sector about shortage of poultry feed, the government banned soya exports in 2022. While those whose mettle commends them to innovation are at it, the businessman who wants to free his operations from the leash also took a giant step to create a difference as far as poultry breeding is concerned. Mr. Bempong Adom told GTV Farmers Weekly that ingenuity can also be cultivated.
The cost was getting too high. They couldn't control because of soya and maize. The maize farmers are out of control, and the soya too is imported by, if you don't mention it, the Lebanese and the Indians. And if you go today and buy soya for 100 cedis, tomorrow you go, it's 200 cedis. We realize it's not sustainable. So we decided to go into Azola farming after reading a lot of Azola, because solar is protein and Azola too gives protein. So if you can have a lot of Azola and you feed them with birds, it's equally as good as feeding them with the soya. So why don't you now produce more Azola, which you have control under, than to go looking for soya, which you don't have control over, because it's imported and you don't determine the exchange rate, you don't determine how the man should make his profit. So we believe alternative is Azola. So in our feed, we don't add soya to it. We've eliminated soya completely. We give them alternative, which is Azola. We went to CSIR to learn about black soldier flies, which we are still trying to perfect. As soon as we perfect, we also have protein from black soldier flies. But for now, we don't have enough of that, so we are using the Azola. We have the cassava, we give them carbohydrates, we have the plantain there, we have the medicinal bitter leaf, we have the medicinal aloe vera. So we don't use antibiotics here, we don't use anything antibiotics.
In poultry, he has departed from the norm of raising fowls, and his breeds are not the type familiar to the Ghanaian, as indicated earlier on. The genetically improved broiler birds are reared for both meat and eggs. At maturity, they weigh as much as 3.5 kg with minimal input on your side. By incorporating a slightly improved semi-free range technique and a little bit of commercial feeding, you'll be able to multiply your broiler flock in a very short period of time, and you'll be on your way to making millions. Very few investments in the first place. Mr. Bempong Adom stresses that while the lifetime egg cycle of the layer bird is only about 50, the broiler averages 140.
The birds we have now that came from Uganda, they are first generation. The first generation, we don't want to have second generation from this first generation. So we're going to bring in parent stock. The parent stock will always give us first generation. With the first generation, you are sure of the quality all the time. So when we are supplying our outgrowers, we know we are giving them something good.
The boon for this type of poultry is in the feeds. Again, let us refresh ourselves that the feedstocks from the Farming Academy are cassava, watermelons, bananas, aloe vera plants, pawpaw, moringa, bitter leaves, and other greens, just to refresh our minds about the alternatives to maize and soya. In the case of aloe vera, it is mashed and mixed with water to feed the poultry.
We blend aloe vera, add water to it, and then we give them because it's medicinal for them. We also allow them to eat the raw leaves of bitter leaf, which is also medicinal. So anything here is for the farm.
He said his livestock has improved tremendously from these feeds, as the bears hardly suffer any illness.
Oko so ni na takra yituna blood ba. Oba test it blood ni test be abeso within 10 minutes. Because obiaba ko so ni we show weakness pe omo na ba be ko. Na haraki wa.
Watermelon, one of the nutritious fruits grown in Ghana, has always been in abundance in parts of the country. Although that is good news for consumers, the same cannot be said about the producers. In the northeast region of Ghana, for instance, where a chunk of the fruit is produced, farmers are worried as they incurred massive losses due to low patronage. Due to a lack of a ready market, a lot of the produce usually goes bad and the farmers lose their investments. The founder of Farming Academy at Kwabin, Mr. Bempong Adom, has shown the way that the chicken breed called Kuroila readily jump at the menu outlined, including watermelon, which has only a small market in the country, with producers awaiting the establishment of a watermelon-based fruit juice company in the north to stem post-harvest losses. Even the disused parts of freshly used fruits are not wastes within the context of Kuroila poultry breeding. Kuroila meat is served in a popular local eatery at Kwabin, opposite the Kwabin Anglican Senior High and Technical School. It is in the direction of Boma and Techimai in the catchment area. The owner of Farming Academy, which has 4,000 bears, says he intends to make supplies to groceries, supermarkets, foreign embassies, hotels and restaurants, local eateries, and for export. The poultry farm is named an academy because it is to serve as training grounds that will equip youth with the skills to make them employable because they'll be economically viable. The residential apartment will reduce the hassles many youth go through. He is also thinking of soliciting the support of governments and international organizations aimed at intensifying the training component on his farm.
So we are in contact with animal production under the Ministry of Agriculture. We've spoken with the Director of Animal Production. We've made our GC aware. Last year we won the best farmer in the Tiwa district, the Tiwa West district. So people are getting to know us. And I believe if we get the support from government, we will be able to go to all the districts. We will start with the nearby towns. We finish the Tiwa West district, we go to the Tiwa West East district, then we go to the different towns, and I believe each district we can create about 100 to 150 employment.
Mr. Bempong Adom, the founder of Farming Academy, he has shown the way by escaping soya and cornmeal burden in poultry production, saw soap too for fruit juice and tea.
In the next month or two, we should start the tea production. Then the slaughtering of the chicks to the chicken too will start, and we'll begin to supply semi-free range chicken to Ghana. and also supply soursop leaf tea to shops because of the medicinal value.